Today, man, we're going to be going over all the best players in college football 25 to start season 6. Every single position group, we're going to have a couple players for every position. I'm going to really, it's going to be broken down like who the best cards are based on what abilities they get. You know, if their stats are really good, all that good stuff, having really good traits as well. At the end of the video as well, I'm going to show you guys like a lineup screen, what it would look like to have all these players in your lineup so you guys can kind of see. But before that, though, we're going to run through all these players. Starting our list off with the quarterback. Surprisingly, maybe even sadly, Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in the game. Really caught me off guard as someone that just kind of got back into playing this thing. I was playing champs yesterday, a ton of champs. I almost finished it. And almost every game going against Kirk Cousins, I'm like, why is everybody using Kirk Cousins? There's RG3, there's Vince Young, there's a ton of quarterbacks. What makes Kirk Cousins so special? His stats really aren't too bad. I mean, his speed is not bad. He's got a cannon, his accuracies are great. But the thing that really sets this card apart from all the other ones is that every single ability on this card is platinum. Like, I mean, all the meta abilities. Dot is platinum. Extender is platinum. Magician is platinum. Workhorse is platinum. I mean, this guy's ability, pull down is even platinum. He gets every ability platinum. And for my second quarterback, I am going to go with RG3. Another thing we kind of did forget to talk about Kirk Cousins is he also has really good throw accuracy, which is the stat on CFB fan for if you play on placement. I think it was like 90 something. RG3 is a little bit lower. I think it's like in the low 80s. But RG3 is, I mean, you know, if you want a mobile quarterback, then this is the way to go. 97 speed, 97 throw power. Accuracy are definitely a little bit lower than Kirk Cousins, but he still gets really good abilities. I mean, you get an extender platinum, which is great. Dot gold, which is still really good. He gets workhorse platinum, magician platinum, so he still gets really good abilities, but Kirk's got better accuracy. He gets the better overall abilities, and he's got better throw accuracy. Moving on to the running backs, we're going to have 3 total running backs. Number 1 for me, I'm going to have to go with Nick Chubb. Now, this video is also being recorded before the Saquon Barkley comes out today. Depending on if Saquon gets, Platinum Shifty, he's probably going to be number 1 in my book, but at the time of recording this, he's not out. So I think Nick Chubb's the best. He gets Platinum Shifty, and his overall stats are really good. He can, you know, he's got a really good change of direction. Surprisingly, a really good juke. He can run through people. He's going to break tackles. And, you know, the main thing, which we just kind of talked about, he gets Shifty Platinum, which is just one of the best abilities in the game. For running back 2, I'm going to go with Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith's really good. 97 speed. He gets gold Shifty. And he's, you know, great. He's got a great spin, good juke, good change direction, all that stuff. And gold Shifty. And for number 3, I got to go with Reggie Bush, man. I mean, this is one of the greatest cards. In my opinion, this is the greatest card to come out all year in college football. Can't wait to use his 99. We're going to have to, you know, wait till the end of the season. But either way, this card is still really good. Gets gold shift. He was one of the first cards to ever get it. I still use him on my team. The guy's a god. Moving on to the wide receivers, we're going to have a total of, I think it's 5 wide receivers because, you know, you got 3 starters and then 2 backups. Like I said, you guys will see the whole lineup, but like I have a whole lineup in the CFB fan thing, so I'll show that at the very end of the video. But for me, Calvin Johnson's number 1, and it's very simple. From my knowledge, he's the only receiver in the game that gets takeoff platinum. If you don't know what takeoff is by now, it's the thing that gives your receivers an extreme speed boost off the line of scrimmage, hence why it's called takeoff. The guy's already 6'5", 97 speed. If you remember his card earlier in the year, he didn't drop many passes, so mixed in with the fact that he's almost going to be pretty much unguardable, best receiver in the game. The rest of the receivers, to be honest, you can kind of like put them in whatever order you want, because they're all very similar. They all get takeoff gold, and then they all have really good stats. I think Marvin Harrison, though, you could put them over the rest of them, all the receivers they get takeoff gold, because this guy is 98 speed. I want to say he's the fastest receiver in the game. I could be wrong, but yeah, his card's nasty. Jamar Chase is the last guy I would go for, like kind of that starting wide receiver room, like wide receiver 3, because his route running is absolutely phenomenal. He gets takeoff gold, but you know, he's also really good after the catch, and surprisingly doesn't even have bad run blocking. For wide receiver 4, we got Tim Brown. He's not too different than Jamar Chase. I think their route running is very similar. Speeds are very similar, but I think Jamar's got better run blocking. I think he's a little bit better after the catch as well. This right here is going to be our very last receiver. I'm going to go with Tyler Boyd, him and John Ross for like some of the first guys to get takeoff gold, but I'm going to put Boyd over John Ross. He's got that speed, 6'2", and another guy that's, you know, pretty good after the catch as well. Now moving on to the tight end room, we're going to have 3 total tight ends. For the next couple position groups, it's going to be tight ends and then offensive linemen. I'm not really too worried about the abilities for these position groups. This is kind of where I'm going to just focus more on their stats stats and, you know, their height and weight and, you know, things like that. So starting off the tight end room, though, we got to go with Brock Bowers. I mean, he's the best tight end in the game. It's not even a question. He's the fastest. His route running's great, and he can run block as well, which is always good. Number 2, I got to go with Tyler Warren. I didn't realize Tyler Warren was actually the same speed as Brock Bowers. Bowers, in my opinion, has the better route running. Tyler Warren also doesn't have bad run blocking. It's only 79 as Bowers at 80. And for our very last tight end, we're going to go with George Kittle, another really fast tight end, great route running, and this guy's got 90 run blocking. So if you want a guy that can literally do both, George Kittle's probably your guy. Now we're moving on to the offensive linemen. I'm not going to take a long time doing the linemen because, look, man, nobody wants to be here all day doing it. There's going to be 2 offensive linemen for each of the, you know, position groups, left tackle, right tackle, all that good stuff. So let's just kind of run through it. And yeah, I went through the offensive linemen. I made sure, like, it's, you know, in my opinion, these are the best of the best. Left tackle, we got this guy right here from Penn State. Looks really good. For the other guy, I went with Carter Smith for the left tackle. He's also a lot cheaper, so if you don't want to pay all those coins, this guy's a really good second option. For left guard, we went with Brian Felter from Rutgers. Seemed pretty good to me. The other option, I would go with the Jalen Slappy from Marshall, and it could be debatable because honestly, there was a lot of, you know, not bad left guards, but I like Slappy as the number 2 option. For center, I went with Jeff Saturday, and I do want to say there's a lot of like really good centers in the game. But I think Jeff Saturday's the best. For the number 2 tight end, I went with Zach Frazier. I think the only problem I think with Saturday is he's a little bit smaller. He's like 6'2", 295 or something like that. Frazier gives you a lot more size, 6'3", 310. For right guard, we went with Willie Lampkin. I think Willie Lampkin has like 2 cards. I like his game changer card as the best right guard. And I know Lampkin is severely undersized at 5'11", 290, but his stats are just so nasty, man. I feel like it's just going to override all of that. Now, let's say his stats do not override all that, then go with this guy right here, Cameron Johnson, who is more of a prototypical lineman, height and size, 6'3", 310. For right tackle, we got Tiger Shanks. I think he's like the most expensive card out of all the offensive linemen we showed. So, like, am I going to say he's worth that price? Probably not, but in my opinion, he's the best right tackle in the game. So, and a way cheaper option you could go with if you don't want to spend like $500,000. Tristan Wirfs, I think, is the second best right tackle. That's pretty much going to do it for the offensive side of the ball. I know we didn't talk about fullback. We'll talk about fullback at the very end when I show you guys the entire lineup. Let's go ahead and move on to defense. We're going to start off with the free safety. So one of the newer cards to come out, Kamari Ramsey, I think that's how you say his name. This guy is just really good. I mean, 97 man, 98 zone. He's also got really good tackling as well, and his abilities are great. We're kind of back to talking about some abilities again. Platinum House Call, and he gets Ball Hawk Gold. Typically for safeties, that's kind of what we're going to look at is Ball Hawk and House Call, just because I don't think most people are going to run Jammer on their safeties, but I guess if you want to, the guy gets it Platinum and Robber Gold. Great abilities. I think Buda Baker's another really good option in free safety. Very similar stats, except Ramsey has his cover stats are just a little bit better. He also has better tackling than Buda Baker. Buda Baker's got good hip power, but doesn't have very good tackling. He also gets really good abilities as well. Platinum House Call, except he gets Platinum Ball Hawk. So maybe if you actually really want a Ball Hawk, I'm not big on Ball Hawks on the safeties. That's just my opinion. I run a totally different style defense, but Buda Baker's really good too. Moving on to strong safeties, I got to go with Brandon Mayweather in my opinion as the best strong safety. I think the strong safeties take a bit of a step down compared to the free safeties, just kind of my opinion, but I think Brandon Mayweather is the best one. He's fast, his cover stats are overall pretty good, and the guy gets really good abilities as well. Gold House Call, Gold Ball Hawk. Nothing really platinum, it's a bunch of golds, but it's pretty good. And for the other strong safety, I'm going to go with Derwin James. Derwin's pretty similar, all of his stats wise, his abilities and all that stuff is, you know, it's not entirely different as he gets good. It's just a bunch of golds. His actually a little bit of a step down because some of his stuff is silver, but he does get Gold House Call. So staying in the defensive back room, we're going to be talking about corners. So we're going to have 5 total corners. Cornerback 1, I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Deion Sanders, prime time. I don't even think I got to say a whole lot. You see the stats. You know this guy gets insane abilities. I mean, Platinum House Call, Gold Ball Hawk. I mean, a ton of, you know, it's Deion. This card's great. So for the next 2 corners, I don't really care how you rank them. I think they're both equally just as good. It doesn't really matter to me. And they're both going to be from the new promo Spring Break. Brent Austin, I mean, this guy might be a little bit smaller, man. Coverage stats are through the roof. He's fast, and this guy does get really good abilities. I mean, Platinum House Call, all of it's very similar to Deion as well. Really good card. And the other card is going to be Xavier Alford, also from the Spring Break promo. Like, you can see their stats are like very, very similar. And their abilities abilities really aren't that much different. They're all pretty much the same. So those three guys are the best corners in the game. Now, as for the other two corners, to pretty much, fill out the backups, I got to go with Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's really good. I mean, he's not that far off from the guys that we just showed. I mean, you can see his stats. They're amazing. His abilities as well are really good. He just doesn't kind of get the platinum house call like those guys or the gold ball hawk, but still really good. And I know we haven't really talked about like Jammer and, Robert and some of those abilities. I know some of you guys do run the Jammers. Look, all these guys kind of get those abilities like gold or, stuff like that. So I haven't really talked about it a whole lot. But for the last corner, I'm going to go with Mike Sandstro. Mike Sandstro's stats are a little bit, or his coverage stats are, out of all the guys we showed, are probably a lower. But something about him is he gets, platinum, ball hawk. All of his abilities are actually platinum. It's actually disgusting. The only thing that his downfall is, I don't think his stats are as good as the other guys. But if you don't mind it and you want to throw those platinum abilities out there, that's the reason why I got him on here as one of the best corners. Now moving on to the linebacker room, we're going to start off with the middle linebackers. We're going to have 4 guys total. Number 1, in my opinion, I got to go with Luke Kuechly, man. 95 speed. He is the fastest linebacker. I mean, there's a few 95 speed linebackers in the game, but technically he is the fastest in the game. He's got 95 change direction, which is one of the things I valued the most about that, man. That it's very underrated being able to just get in and out, flipping those hips and all that stuff. His tackling is great. The hip power is great. Only downside, I think, to him is his zone and man are, they're not in the 90s, but as a user, this guy's going to be great. Now, where you rank the rest of these linebackers is completely up to you, but the next 3 guys, they're the 3 best in the game. I don't care how you rank them. I went with Lawrence Taylor, though, another 95 speed guy. Great hip power. He actually has some good cover stats. You can see he's got 92 zone, 92 change of direction. I value change of direction big time. The man's a little bit lower, but at the end, he's a linebacker. It's kind of expected. Really good card. Linebacker number 3, we got Manti Te'o, newer card that came out. Another 95 speed guy, 96 hip power. The only thing that kind of sucks about him, he's got 89 change direction, which is why I think you can see why I have him at number 3. But the guy's got 96 zone, which is pretty nasty. And for our last middle linebacker, we're going to go with Shane Gillis, another 95 speed guy. He's got 91 change direction, which is a little bit lower, but it's not bad. We can work with it. I know it's like only one different than Lawrence Taylor, but it is still a little bit lower. His man coverage is not very good. His zone isn't really too high, so kind of where we got him where he's at. Now talking about some outside linebackers, we're going to start off with the left outside linebackers. Dallas Turner's the best one in the game. For these, middle linebackers, by the way, we weren't really focused on those guys' abilities. As for outside linebackers, we are, if these guys can get some good quick jumps, that would help out a lot. But one of the biggest things we want to look at is we want to get guys that, can rush the passer and can play coverage, which is kind of what all these guys can. Dallas Turner's really fast. He's going to be able to get to the quarterback. He can play a little bit of coverage as well with the 89 zone, which, if you got the strat card, you can actually probably get that up to like 90. And he's got quick jump gold, so this guy's a beast. I think your other option is, if you can't get Turner, is Malik Jefferson, who's also still a lot of coins too, but he's pretty similar. He's got like 93 speed, 97 finesse move. He can play a little bit of coverage as well. His coverage stats really aren't that much different. And as for like a quick jump, he gets it gold. So these guys aren't entirely different, but I definitely think Turner's better. Now for the other outside linebacker, right outside linebacker, Clay Matthews. I don't think it's a question. The guy's 95 speed. He has great block shed. He's got a great power move and a finesse move, and he could play coverage. I mean, this guy's going to have 92 zone, and you could probably get him up to 90 man if you really wanted to. He excels in the stats category. He only gets quick jump silver, which does kind of suck, but with the stats like that, man, he'll be fine. This right here is going to be our very last linebacker. It's going to be Jalen Sneed, who's a way cheaper option if you don't want to get Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews is like 500K. This guy's only like 100K, and he's pretty good. I mean, 95 speed. He's got good block shed. I always value block shed on these linebackers, man. You got it, or any type of, lineman or a guy that's going to be rushing, against an offensive lineman. You got to be able to get off the block. He's got a good power move as well. The guy can drop back in coverage, 87 man, 91 zone. So he's kind of like a budget Clay Matthews. He also, I think he only gets quick jump silver. For me, it's not a big deal if you don't get like a really good quick jump. If you're an edge guy, because honestly, I like quick jump on the interior guys more, and we'll kind of talk about that once we actually start talking about interior linemen. So we're moving on to the defensive linemen, man. D tackles, left ends, and right ends. This is our last position groups pretty much. We're going to start off with the D tackles. Chris Jones. Chris Jones is one of the best defensive linemen in the game, and it's not just because his stats are really good. I mean, 6'6", 290, 298, and the guy's 90 speed. He's got the strength. He's got the block shed. The power move's great, but the icing on the cake is the fact that this guy gets quick jump platinum. And the reason why I like quick jump on the interior lineman more than the edge guys, it's pretty easy to get an edge guy to come in free a lot of times and kind of mess up with the blocking. But to have one of your inside guys, you know, with a crazy quick jump kind of, you know, disengage and get in there free, it's a lot nastier because the quarterback can't step up into the, he's going to step up right into the guy. So Chris Jones, I think, is one of the best players in the entire game. There's going to be 4 total D tackles that we talk about. For the second one, I got to go with Desmond Watson, and it's pretty easy reason why. I mean, 6'5", 415. I used Cam Jackson for a big majority this year, another guy from Florida, really big D tackle, and he's not this big, but he was pretty goddamn big. He was like 6'6" something. I don't remember what he was. Guy couldn't be blocked just because of his frame. I would imagine this guy's going to be the same way, and he's got 87 speed for a big guy. That's not bad. He's got good pass rushing stats. He doesn't get a crazy quick jump, but with a man with this size, he's going to be a problem. For a third D tackle, I'm going to go with Jamari Caldwell from Oregon. He's weird because he's 6'1", which is a little bit smaller, but then he's 340, so he's a big body, and he's got the speed, 90 speed, good block shed, not bad pass rushing stats. And the guy does only get quick jump silver, but he's another pretty good option. This right here is going to be our very last D tackle, Warren Sapp. He's also, I think, the cheapest option out of all these guys. Pretty solid speed. Good block shed, once again, good power move, you know, kind of the same stuff that we talk about. He only gets like a silver quick jump, but overall, a really good option, and he's cheap. So we're going to finish this thing off talking about left ends and right ends. As for the left end, I think Alex Smith is the best one, but the guy number 2 is neck for neck. Like, they're not that different. It's really up to you. I don't remember what ended up making me pick Highsmith. It might have been like the strength or something like that, but Alex Highsmith's really good speed, can get to the quarterback, everything you want, and he's got a gold quick jump, which is always nice. Jared Verse is the other option. Yeah, I think it was literally the strength. I think Highsmith had like 95 strength, and because their stats just literally weren't that much different. Like, they're very, very similar. And okay, so Verse also did not get gold quick jump, so that's probably what it was. So they're really not that much different though, but Highsmith is definitely better. Finishing this thing up, we're going to talk about right ends. Abdul Carter's 96, not his 97 or his 98 or whatever the other card they gave him was. I like his 96 is just better. It's faster. His stats are just better on this card. Overall, I mean, 94 speed is pretty nasty for the end, and you can see a 98 finesse move. Now, the only thing that kind of sucks is his abilities really aren't anything too crazy, but he's got really good stats. And for the other right end, I'm gonna go to Kayvon Thibodeau. Also has 94 speed, pretty similar. I think his only problem is he only has 88 strength, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but besides that, the card is kind of similar. So this right here is the lineup I was talking about. This is kind of what it would. This is what it would look like if you put all the best players out there, pretty much. Kirk Cousins at quarterback, Chubb at running back, Jamar Chase, Calvin Johnson, Marvin Harrison at receiver, Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren, George Kittle. Those are your tight ends and all that stuff. So this is what it would look like, and then this right here is what the defense would look like. You got it's absolutely disgusting. So if you guys want to kind of take a screenshot of this stuff, kind of look at it and be like, okay, these are the best players, maybe these are the guys we need to get, then you can do that. But that's pretty much my list though, for the best players right now at every single position in college football 25 to start season 6. New cards come out every day. This stuff changes all the time. So, you know, this list could literally change today. I mean, there's new cards coming out today. There's the Saquon Barkley. So, all kind of different stuff. So, just know, if you watch this a couple of days later, it could be completely different. That is pretty much going to do it for the video, man. If you guys did enjoy this video, man, drop a like. If you're not subbed to the channel, man, sub to the channel. We got lots of more content on the way. You don't want to miss out. But till next time, man, see y'all in the next one.